most important thing that this country needs to do is get its republic back, and that means after 98 years of these criminal offshore banks hijacking our nation through fraud, we are awake to the scam, and no amount of new wars or staged terror is going to fool the American people. No amount of big bald eagles in front of their buildings are going to fool us. This is a private criminal mafia, and it is the enemy of this country, and the Federal Reserve is going down.
9/11 was a Zionist job.
Thank you, Alex, for waking me
In the building.
You notice that Rick Perry is trying to become Ron Paul. You notice that Mitt Romney's trying to become Ron Paul, and now Herman Cain, who was the actual head of the Kansas City Federal Reserve, is trying to become Ron Paul. But what does that show us? It shows us how far we've come.
That's right.
The fact that the Federal Reserve claims they're in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street shows how scared they are. They know that they've committed crimes to take over, and they know that they're not going to get away with it.
Right, Alex.
We are going to end the Fed, and we're going to restore the Republic. You know, I saw some people here today who for 30, 40, 50 years have been fighting the private Federal Reserve back when nobody was listening to them. And it was those seeds that people like Ron Paul and G. Edward Griffin and others that are here today planted 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Thousands of great patriots. Alan Stang, you name it, the list goes on and on. That now today it is so incredibly popular and people are informed and they know that the private Federal Reserve is the enemy, and they understand that nothing can change until they're gone, because as that fellow Sign said earlier, things aren't broken. This is how the globalists want it to be. They want to get rid of the free market. They want to make us their slaves. And we're not going to let them co-opt Occupy Wall Street and turn it into a class warfare thing to demonize anybody that's upset with Wall Street. We're here pointing out the real enemies, and this system is scared to death. The globalists came out in the last 3 days and said, oh, we're with you. We understand your anger. We understand your problem with the free market. Just let the Federal Reserve pass a VAT or sales tax. We'll rape you real good and give all that money to us. Your money is paid to these private banksters. That's why they want higher taxes. This country had a 10% growth rate in its first 100+ years until the Federal Reserve came along. 140-something years into our history, we had a 10% growth rate every year. This truly was the land of opportunity. Wasn't perfect, but was better than everywhere else. They come along, our average growth rate's near zero. These people have destroyed our republic, and we're taking it back. It's over! Now, the Federal Reserve is the holding company that the 6 big mega banks operate through and con everybody. But it is the Goldman Sachs and the Bank of Americas and the JP Morgans and the Wells Fargos and the Citigroups. They are the enemy. And I'm going to encourage people in the next few weeks to not just occupy and keep demonstrating against the Federal Reserve all over this nation, but to also expose Bank of America and others who don't just robo-sign. They've been caught taking houses they never had a deed to that weren't even in default. These are nothing but highway robbers.